The movie begins in an ancient time when Egypt is about to welcome a new ruler among the gods. This new deity is Horus, known as the god of the sky, and a grand ceremony is underway to crown him. People from all corners of Egypt gather to witness this momentous event, their excitement filling the air. Just as Horus prepares to take his place as the leader, a figure emerges from the crowd. Set, the god of the desert and Horus's uncle. Set steps forward with a calm demeanor, carrying a gift for his nephew, a finely crafted horn. He encourages Horus to blow it, and Horus, unsuspecting, follows his uncle's request, sending a loud sound echoing through the gathering. Chaos erupts as Set declares his dominance, shouting that anyone who refuses to kneel before him will die. Terrified, the people, including other gods, drop to their knees, bowing to Set's cruel authority. Horus, however, refuses to submit, his anger boiling over at the betrayal. Furious, Horus leaps into action, challenging his uncle in a fierce battle. As they fight, both gods transform into their true divine forms, their power shaking the ground beneath them. Despite Horus's strength and determination, Set proves to be more cunning and ruthless. He gains the upper hand, overpowering Horus and pinning him down. In a brutal act, Set rips out both of Horus's eyes, leaving him blind and helpless. Yet, instead of killing his nephew, Set spares his life, condemning Horus to live in darkness as a punishment. With Horus defeated, Set seizes control of Egypt, his reign marking the start of a grim new era. Under Set's rule, Egypt transforms into a land of suffering and oppression. The once proud kingdom falls into despair as Set, a cold and merciless god, treats humans like animals, stripping them of dignity and freedom. His heart holds no compassion, and survival becomes a daily struggle for the people. Buildings rise as monuments to his power, but they are built on the backs of enslaved workers, their lives reduced to misery. The world Horus once knew fades away, replaced by a harsh reality where hope seems lost. Set's dominance is absolute, and the people are powerless against his tyranny. Into this bleak world steps Bek, a young man with a sharp mind and a brave spirit. He lives alongside his childhood friend, a girl he deeply cares for, and their bond gives him strength amid the hardship. At this time, slavery grips Egypt tightly, with humans forced to serve not only Set but also his followers. Bek's friend works as a slave for a master architect in Set's service, making their meetings rare and precious. She believes that Horus, the fallen god, could be their savior, the key to ending their suffering. Together, they devise a plan, relying on her knowledge of Set's treasure vault, a heavily guarded place where the god keeps his most valuable possessions, including Horus's stolen eyes. Bek's friend explains the dangers of the vault to him, warning that Set's soldiers will be watching closely. She urges him to sneak in quietly and retrieve Horus's eyes, believing that returning them will convince Horus to help free them from slavery. Determined, Bek sets out for the vault, his heart pounding with both fear and resolve. The place is a maze of deadly traps designed to stop thieves, but Bek moves carefully, avoiding each danger with quick thinking. Against all odds, he finds one of Horus's eyes, a glowing orb that pulses with light. Clutching it tightly, he escapes and reunites with his friend, their plan seeming to succeed. Their triumph is short-lived, as Set's soldiers surround them before they can celebrate. The architect, suspicious after noticing missing maps of the treasure vault, confronts them, demanding to know what Bek has stolen. Thinking fast, Bek shows a small gold trinket he grabbed as a decoy, keeping the eye hidden. The architect isn't fully convinced, and the soldiers move to arrest them, sentencing them to death. In a desperate move, Bek pulls out Horus's eye, its blinding light stunning the soldiers. Seizing the moment, he and his friend flee, but their escape comes at a cost. The architect fires an arrow, striking Bek's friend and leaving her gravely wounded. With no time to lose, Bek carries his injured friend to a temple where Horus, now a broken and bitter god, resides. Inside, Bek calls out to Horus, announcing that he has one of his eyes. Horus demands it back, but Bek, clutching his dying friend, sets a condition: he'll return the eye only if Horus saves her life. Angered by a mere human daring to bargain with him, Horus lashes out, but Bek dodges his attacks, refusing to give in. Eventually, Horus relents, taking the eye and restoring some of his vision. He agrees to Beck's terms, asking what he wants. Beck pleads for his friend's life, but Horus, still weakened without both eyes, admits he can't save her as she slips away, her soul claimed by the god of death. Heartbroken by his friend's death, Beck initially refuses to trust Horus further, blaming him for failing her. Horus, however, reveals a glimmer of hope. Her soul hasn't been lost forever, it's journeying through the afterlife and can still be reclaimed if he regains his full power with his second eye. They strike a new deal. Beck will help retrieve the other eye from Set's pyramid, and Horus will bring his friend back to life. To protect her body, they hide it in a safe place, and Horus vows to restore her soul once he's whole again. With a shared goal, they set off, Horus also driven by a desire to overthrow Set and reclaim Egypt. Set, meanwhile, learns that one of Horus's eyes has been stolen and orders his forces to hunt down both Horus and Beck. As the pair travel, Horus leads Beck to a high mountain, explaining that he needs help from his grandfather, the sun god. Sitting in quiet reflection, Horus transforms into his divine form and flies to the heavens, where the sun god reigns over a realm that sustains the world. There, Horus pleads for aid, recounting how Set murdered his father and blinded him, plunging Egypt into slavery. The sun god, focused on battling the Satan of darkness, force threatening all existence, refuses to intervene directly, but he grants Horus a vial of divine water, a powerful substance tied to creation itself. With this sacred gift, Horus returns to the mortal world. As he descends to Earth, his divine appearance fades. Horus can only regain his true form when he possesses both of his eyes. With both, he is powerful, but without them, he is weak. While still in the forest, they are ambushed by Set's soldiers. Horus fights bravely, taking on all of them. However, one of the soldiers manages to throw him off a mountain. Seeing this, Beck jumps after him without hesitation. Just before hitting the ground, Horus uses his enchanted weapon, saving them both from certain death. At this point, the real purpose of the divine water is revealed. There is a great pyramid in the world, filled with fire. Horus believes this fire is the source of Set's power. If he pours the divine water into the flames, Set's strength will weaken, giving Horus the upper hand in his battle for revenge. Horus warns Beck that Set will now send his most fearsome and ruthless warriors after them. Soon enough, two deadly women arrive, sent by Set. They are terrifying because they ride monstrous, snake-like creatures. Meanwhile, Set himself visits the goddess of love. He approaches her with a demand. He wants her to take him to the underworld, the land of the dead, so he can rule over it as well. Before this, the goddess of love had once been in the underworld, where she was the guardian of the dead. Set had rescued her from that world and brought her back to the land of the living. However, despite their past, she refuses his demand. She is well aware that Set possesses one of Horus's eyes, making him even more dangerous. Enraged, Set prepares to kill her, but before he can strike, she removes a magical bangle from her wrist. Instantly, she vanishes into the underworld. Moments later, she puts the bangle back on and returns to the land of the living. This bangle grants her immunity from the dead while she wears it. They cannot harm her. However, if she ever removes it again, the dead will drag her back permanently. Horus and Beck continue their journey and arrive at an ancient temple. Set's two deadly warriors find them there, still riding their monstrous, fire-breathing serpents. The creatures launch a fierce attack, forcing Horus and Beck into hiding. Just as things seem dire, the goddess of love arrives, using her powers to destroy one of the monstrous snakes. They then set off to retrieve Horus's missing eye, which is hidden inside a great pyramid. Beck confidently claims he knows the way inside. However, the goddess of love warns him that entering will not be easy. Inside the pyramid, a monstrous guardian awaits. It will ask a riddle, and anyone who answers incorrectly will be destroyed. Realizing they need help, Horus decides to seek the god of wisdom. When they reach him, they explain everything. At first, the god of wisdom refuses to join them, but Beck, thinking quickly, challenges him. He boldly claims he can solve the riddle himself. The god of wisdom laughs. "You answer the riddle? Impossible. The questions it asks are too difficult. If you fail, you will die. Beck remains fearless. Fine, let it kill me, but before I die, I will tell it that the great god of wisdom himself was too afraid to even try. This stings the god's pride, and he finally agrees to help. Together, they set out on their journey to the pyramid. However, the goddess of love soon learns of Horus's secret deal with Beck. Horus had promised to bring Beck's beloved back from the dead, a feat considered impossible, but she realizes it was just a lie. Horus only made that promise to trick Beck into helping him retrieve his eye. The goddess of love is deeply troubled. Gods should not deceive mortals. Wanting to ease Beck's pain, she offers him a chance to speak with his lost loved one using her magical bangle. For a brief moment, Beck connects with his beloved in the underworld. Don't worry, he tells them, I will bring you back. The great Horus is helping me. When they reach the pyramid, they find no visible entrance. But Beck insists, I know where the door is. He explains that inside there is a hidden mechanism, a giant wheel. If they can turn it, the entrance will open. Beck squeezes through two massive stones and barely makes it to the wheel. With great effort, he manages to rotate it. As the wheel turns, all activity in the pyramid halts, and a hidden door slowly opens. Horus and the others rush inside. Suddenly, the monstrous guardian appears before them. As expected, it begins to ask its riddle. I was never born, yet I will exist forever. No one has ever seen me, and no one ever will. Yet every living being believes in me. Who am I? The god of wisdom confidently gives an answer, but it's wrong. The guardian immediately attacks. Thinking quickly, he offers another answer. Again, it is incorrect. The monster prepares to strike them down. In that moment, the god of wisdom has a realization. He shouts the correct answer. The future. The monster sees that his answer is correct, so he allows him to move forward. As he continues, he comes across the eye of Horus. He takes out the divine water, ready to use it, but before he can, they are trapped. Suddenly, Set arrives, revealing that everything was part of his plan. It turns out that Set had tricked them all along. Set then removes the brain of the god of intelligence, saying that he desperately needed it. Seeing an opportunity, Beck manages to take back the divine water. He threatens Set, saying that he will throw the divine water into the fire, but Set responds by showing Beck a necklace, telling him that it belongs to his friend. He tries to manipulate Beck by telling him that Horus has used him and that no one can truly bring the dead back to life. Set warns Beck that if he throws the divine water into the fire, his friend's body will be lost forever. Beck, unable to risk losing his friend, hesitates and eventually hands over the divine water to Set. Set immediately throws the water away and escapes from the pyramid, leaving the others trapped inside. The pyramid begins to collapse, but Horus manages to rescue everyone just in time. Now, Set replaces his own brain with that of the god of intelligence, making himself even more powerful. After this, he goes to visit his father, the god of the sun, but he does not go with good intentions. Instead, he attacks his father and takes his powerful weapon. Because of this, the dark force of Satan is now completely out of control. This evil force begins to spread destruction throughout the world. Meanwhile, Horus and the goddess of love leave the temple. Beck feels betrayed, believing that he has been tricked. The goddess of love stands by Beck, wanting to help him get his friend back. She calls upon the god of death and asks him what it would cost to enter the world of the dead. The god of death tells her that the price to enter is extremely high. In response, she takes off her bangle and shows it to him, asking if anything could be more valuable than this. The goddess of love is willing to sacrifice her bangle to enter the world of the dead. Horus tries to stop her, but she hands the bangle to Beck before stepping into the world of the dead herself. Beck then follows her, hoping to find his friend. When they arrive, they see that his friend's soul has reached the last gate. Here, souls must offer gold in order to return to the living world. If they have nothing, they are trapped there forever. Beck's friend sadly admits that she has nothing to give. Just then, Beck arrives with the magical bangle, offering it in exchange for her life. At the same time, the dark force of Satan begins to attack the world. Since the god of the sun is no longer there to protect it, chaos spreads quickly. The god of death advises Beck to return to Horus because Horus is the only one who can stop the dark force. Without wasting time, Beck rushes back to the living world and explains everything to Horus. But the situation is dire. Set now possesses his father's powerful weapon. Despite this, he allows the dark force to continue spreading destruction. He leads the dark force toward the source of the divine water, which is the same water used to create the world. If the dark force drinks this water, the entire world will be destroyed. Before the dark force can reach the divine water, Horus arrives to stop Set. A fierce battle breaks out between them. Set is extremely powerful now and begins to overpower Horus. Just as Set is about to kill Horus, Beck arrives and helps him by retrieving Horus's missing eye from Set's armor. He throws the eye back to Horus, but Set becomes furious at this and throws Beck off the edge. Horus now faces a difficult choice: should he retrieve his eye to regain his full power, or should he save Beck? In this crucial moment, Horus decides to save Beck. As he catches him, something miraculous happens. Even without his eye, Horus transforms back into his godly form. It turns out that his true power was never in the eye, it was in his ability to become a noble and selfless god. Because of this realization, his second eye is also restored. The battle between Horus and Set resumes, but this time, Horus is stronger. He ultimately defeats Set. As Horus is about to deliver the final blow, Set begs for his life. He reminds Horus that he once spared him and asks for mercy. But Horus refuses, saying that he will not make the same mistake Set did. Without hesitation, he ends Set's life. Meanwhile, the dark force is still advancing toward the divine water. Horus rushes to his grandfather, the god of the sun, and returns his stolen weapon. Using it, the god of the sun sends the dark force back to its own world, saving humanity. However, during all of this, Beck dies. Being the mighty god he now is, Horus revives Beck and his friend, bringing them back to life. Afterward, Horus becomes the new god of Egypt. He establishes a new rule that only those who have done good deeds in life will be reborn, and not those who offer silver or gold for their return. Finally, Horus travels to the world of the dead to bring back the goddess of love. With all the dangers gone, balance is restored. The movie ends on a positive note, with peace returning to the world.
If this story has you hooked, please take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep bringing these adventures to life for you. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends so they can join in on the action too. Your support means everything, and I love to have you along for more exciting stories ahead. Thanks so much!